Gordon, this season was really interesting for Aang. We get to see some selfishness from him, some frustration. How was it getting to embrace these darker parts of Aang and getting to show that even though he's the Avatar, he's still, growing up and becoming his own person?
Honestly, such a privilege, actually. Like, as an actor, I feel like it's just given me the opportunity to, like, learn more. Like, throughout the first season, there was, like, definitely not rage being tapped into other than, like, at the very, very end where I become the ocean spirit. But I actually got to, like, educate myself on and, like, work with an acting coach about how you can be angry and how you could act angry, which was dope. It's, like, I was gonna say new emotion to experience, but no, I've definitely been mad at one point before. But yeah, it was just a blessing.
Yeah, you all just show so much growth throughout these seasons. It's incredible. And Kiawentiio, I thought you and Dallas really got to have some great scenes as the season went on. What stood out about Dallas as a scene partner and really getting to voice Katara's own frustrations, especially when she's often the voice of reason in many scenarios, because we know it's not going to be Sokka.
I don't know if I think Sokka's on that same wave sometimes.
Definitely. Yeah.
The scenes that I had with Dallas, to be honest, at the start of the season, I was a little bit nervous about them as much as I was excited because of how iconic and memorable those seasons are from the animation. It felt like a big pressure to get it right and to, be able to, give on the same level with Dallas and be a good scene partner and with everything that we experienced going through filming season 2, it like helped build up my confidence for that moment, so it was a little less daunting. As well as like we worked on it a bunch with Sarah and we worked on it a bunch together and had a lot of time before getting into that stuff, so it was really it was actually just really fun to be able to play and get all these different versions to be able to just have everything that we need for that moment.
Yeah, those scenes are great. So all that work definitely paid off. And Ian, you're just so hilarious in this show. But you're not just comic relief. You have some really great scenes with Maria Zhang, who plays Suki. What did you like getting to show a more vulnerable side of Sokka than we, typically see?
Yeah, I mean, I felt really blessed. I mean, I've talked a lot about just how blessed I am to be Sokka. I think when I first got the role, I was like, no bending, what the heck? And then immediately I'm like, wait, this is such an awesome character because he is like the most human. He's the voice of the audience in a way because the audience can relate to Sokka not being able to do any of this stuff. And he gets to explore so much like comedy, but also like this vulnerability that we're seeing in season 2 from him, like dealing with all of these emotions that he's stuffed down from like his traumatic childhood, and then also just like exploring the world and seeing all this like death and difference in like how the world has changed after the Fire Nation has like kind of had its reign. And so it was just such a fun thing to be able to like do those scenes with Kiawentiio where I think we can all relate, like the person that you can open up to the most hopefully is like someone that's like a sibling, it could be like a found friend, but for me it's like my sister in real life too. So it was cool to like have to do that with my on-screen sister here. And so yeah, it was really awesome to be able to kind of round out Sokka in that moment and get to see both sides of what he does.
And Miyako, my last question. I loved you as Toph. My favorite scene was the Haiku showdown you have with Sokka. How was it just filming that sequence?
That was, I think, strange for both of us. I remember we were talking to one of our writers, Gabe Lanas, and we were actually going through each of our lines and counting to make sure they were like actual haikus. I think for me, I think poetry is a beautiful way to go through that kind of discussion between Sokka and Toph. I think it tells us a lot about their characters. I also think it's one of those iconic things from the animated series that I was excited to get to be a part of and get to put on screen for people.